Hey guys, Jim here. We're going to go over kind of a lot of knives all at once. This video is not going to be dedicated to one specific knife. What we're looking at here is one knife maker, however. His name is Richard Wu, and he lives in China. And his brand is called Rike Knife. It's entirely different than anything else I've really experienced, and I've had a chance to review quite a lot of Chinese-made knives. I've done a couple of Boker knives. You guys know I have a huge love for the Rike Knives. This guy is something of an enigma. He reached out to me a few months ago and said, hey, take a look at my stuff, tell me what you think of it. And next thing you know, I've got 6 of his knives sitting here in my collection. I'm really impressed with the overall design, manufacturing, the incredible actions, which I'll show you in just a few minutes. But the problem with him is he's putting out so many models, model after model after model, that you almost can't keep up. It's that stigma of the Chinese assembly line, I suppose, that wants to pop up in my brain. Now, Richard is a machinist. He's a very talented machinist. Also, the anodizing work that he's done, whether I may like the colors or not, is some of the most impressive work I've ever seen by anybody in any price range. And again, I'll show that to you here in a few moments. So let's go through very quickly. I'm just going to take one at a time, open it up, kind of give you a little close-up look at it, and then we'll go back through and go piece by piece. And I'll kind of give you my thoughts as to how I feel about that particular knife. So we'll start here with this one. And because I have so many here, I am going to have to refer to the markings on the knife to tell you which model it is, because he doesn't use names yet. He's only using numbers. So I'm not going to try to memorize every 4-digit number for every knife that he's making. And here's another great example, as I was mentioning before, about his anodizing work. It is truly spectacular. And also the geometric patterns in which he's grinding into these frames is also pretty damn cool as well. So this one is the, I have to look off side here, 1504B. My view screen on my camera is like this big, so I have a hard time reading things on it. So 1504B. So there is a quick look at that. We'll get that closed and see, yeah, the actions are woo, 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 woo. Now this looks like it's the same knife, however, it is a little bit different. Take a look here. Again, beautiful ano work. And you'll see that long fuller on the blade makes it quite a bit different from this one. And this is the 1504A, so it's the same frame, and you're given a different blade profile choice for that frame. And just like the B, the A is also CPM 154. Almost, well, not almost, it really is effortless in the closing. We're going to get to this one right here. I love this little knife. I'm going to tell you right off the bat. This is my Miami Vice knife. How freaking cool is that? Look at that. I don't want to call it a thumb disc. It's not, I mean, it's not a thumb. I guess it's a thumb stud, but it's not round. It's just wicked cool. Great machining all the way throughout. As you see, the shape of the frame is unique. The anodizing is, of course, unique. And with the pinks and teals and blues that are in there, you see why I call it my Miami Vice knife. And it's like this slender, long spike. This is the 1507S. And by the way, before I get too far into this video and lose focus and forget about it, I do want to let you know that you can buy these stateside. There's a member on Instagram who goes by the account name Darth Blader, not Darth Vader, Darth Blader. And he is, as far as I know, the only, or at least the first, US-based dealer for Rike Knife. Take a look at this little guy here. This is super, super lightweight. He's skeletonized the inside of the frame. You'll notice also a very, very tiny flipper tab. Very slick and very cool custom made pivot. He's using another pivot at the back side to hold the knife together. We've got a little glass breaker there. It's a very simple little knife. And this one is the 1503. It is extraordinarily lightweight and M390 steel. This is a major, major step up in the grade of steel. So very, very nice choice on that. Then we're going to get to these two guys. World-class anodizing. I've never seen anybody that could pull the fades the way that he does. These soft, it really is almost a texture the way that he does these. And this one is the 1501. He made the number much bigger on there for me, made it a lot easier to read. And then we'll get to, last but not least, and this is the 1505. Alright, so that's all 6. Let's move these out of the way so the camera doesn't have any issues with focus, and we're going to go one at a time. So, this is the biggest issue for these two knives. The detent falls so far into the detent hole that if your fingers are anywhere near the lock bar, and honestly the way you're typically going to hold a knife, almost all the time your fingers are going to fall on the lock bar. Nobody's generally, I mean, if you're just picking up a knife that somebody's handing you just to look at it, you may hold it like this. But when you're pulling this bad boy out of the pocket, your hand is around it because you're ready to use it, whether it be for self-defense or you're looking to cut something, whatever it is. So you're generally not going to have this tiny of a grip on it because, well, it could just fall out of your fucking hand. So, but I have to with this one because it's the only way I can open it. I shot a little Instagram video a few months ago with a buddy of mine, Josh. I was videoing him trying to open these two knives, and you could see him, this flipper tab was cutting into his finger. He was pushing so hard. And you can watch the blade flexing, and it doesn't want to break free. But if you get your fingers all the way away from it, it opens up great. So he's using a flat face detent, which is smart, but it's going way too far in. I did mention that to Richard. I said, you know, the detents are just way too severe. I can't even carry it. Look at my finger. Hold on a second. Look at this shit. That's just from what I was doing here in the past couple minutes. So yeah, it is really, really rough. So if you train yourself to hold it a certain way, you'll never have an issue. But I do believe since I brought that issue up to him that he has lessened his detent just a little bit. So let's talk about the 1504B for just a second. The action on bearings is absolutely phenomenal. The bearing, the pivot, nice and tight. It's not like it's loose. The blade isn't going anywhere. But it almost feels like it's loose because it just freely opens and closes once you get past that detent. It's insane. And you can see that again as I go to close it. I don't have to shake it or anything. It just drops closed. It's pretty damn amazing. For me, this particular knife is all about the geometry in which he has done all these edges, all these, it's amazing. So here's one bevel, another bevel, another bevel, more bevels, and another bevel. And that's just at the tail section. Coming up, and then these two bevels widen. He takes this bevel, widens it out here around the pivot. Then he adds another bevel here, another here, another here, another here, and that goes into the chamfer that comes around the back end. And he does this on both sides. He even bevels the lock bar. There is a tremendous amount of machining that goes into this knife. Even the pocket clip, that is not an illusion created by his anodizing. That really is a jeweled effect done by beveling so many facets into that pocket clip. It's crazy. And it's a wonderfully functional pocket clip as well. It's a good full-size knife. I haven't measured. Oh my God, look at it. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. My finger's actually super tender. I haven't measured it, but it looks like a 3 3/4 inch blade on this. It's got a good amount of weight to it without being insanely heavy. He is building in, I don't know if you can quite see it here, but there is a steel lock bar insert and an over travel protection built in on that lock bar without showing it from the outside. Damn nice bit of work. The only critique I can really give on it is that detent, and there's just no way I can get around it. I'm hoping that it breaks in because I really like this knife. I like the overall look and feel of it. It's just sick the way that it shimmers in the light. Get that out of the way, and we'll take a look at the A version here in the gold anodizing. And even the gold picks up other colors. There's little bits of magenta that come through very skillfully in certain areas. You'll see it a lot in the pocket clip there too. So all of those same great facets. Again, this is going to be part of the, he does not speak English very well. Most of our communications, I'm pretty sure he does not understand what I'm saying. So instead of saying maybe Richard the knife maker or something, his is the Richard Maker. But his name is Richard Wu, and that's why that's there. So let's get this open. I'm going to stop screwing up my finger because it really is starting to hurt. Nice deep belly to that blade. I love his satin matte finishes. This has got to be achieved by using ceramic media in the bead blast. There's no other way around it. It is beautiful. It's very reminiscent of Todd Mayo. Very, very reminiscent. Almost like a vapor finish. Looks really cool. The other nitpick I have is he has to work on these choils. My finger, I don't think it's particularly fat, but it ain't fitting in there without getting sliced open. So he is clearly making a choil there. I just can't use it. But as far as the fit in the hand of that frame, all of this work that's being done in here not only looks really cool, but it feels really cool as well. So that's that one. Let's get over here. I gotta go straight to the Miami Vice Special. I freaking love the colors on this. I am not a blue and teal and pink kind of guy, but I really dig this knife. I love the shape of it. No matter what colors it was, I love this knife. It is a sleek, futuristic, folding, flipping spike. That's the best way I can put it. And you can see he's put a lot of time into the design of this knife. This guy is no slacker, that's for damn sure. By the way, every one of these knives perfectly centered. The pivots are nice and tight. There's no lock rock. There's no pivot play. There's nothing. The build quality of these knives, save for the detent issues on the first two, are extraordinary for the money. All these knives here are right around 200 bucks. So really put that into perspective and think about it. So far, I've never seen him make the same knife twice. So you might want to say, well, 200 bucks, I could get into some really good quality production knives. However, they're all going to be the same. I have yet to see two Rike knives that look the same, period. whether it's in the anodizing work or the finishing of the blades. He just posted some this week on his Instagram where he mirror polished the blades, and I'm talking like Marfione level polishing. It looked really good. Now, I didn't see it in person. I could only go off of the videos that I saw, and it looked every bit as flawless. Let's give you some nice close-ups here. Again, there is that almost vapor-like matte finish. Very, very even, very smooth. Look how all of this mates up perfectly. That thumb stud being used, actually, I don't know that it's being used as a stop. Let me see. Yeah, that is being used as the blade stop. And it fits perfectly no matter where. Yeah, you can't use it as a thumb stud though. No matter where it's sitting, open or closed, it's going to be pretty much perfect the way that it sits in there. That's my favorite part of the whole knife, looking at it right there. That is just badass. Look at this. And again, more impressive beveling that's been done. So this guy is obviously a master machinist with a CNC, but I honestly think he is sitting down. I can't verify this, don't know it, haven't seen his shop. I think he is sitting down with a lot of manual tools, sitting down with a grinder, sitting down with all these, let's say, non-computer aided tools and creating these looks. But he is clearly using CNC on some of this stuff. It's too precise not to be. It is. And if I get a message from him and there's a picture of his shop and there's no CNC, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to shit all over myself. I'm going to be very, 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 very surprised. Everything is very precise. So yeah, I think out of all these, the 1507S is probably my favorite. I love how it feels in the hand, and I don't typically like very slender knives, but it's just really, really cool, and the action is fantastic. The last super slim knife that I actually liked was the Custom Knife Factory Rabbit. And this is smaller. This is slimmer. It's smaller in every possible way. Now we get to these two, and I'm going to tell you right now, I like the knives. I can't carry a pink knife. I have no idea why he picks these soft pastel colors. These were not by my request. I am not a pink knife kind of guy. So I'm going to tell you right now, as cool as the 1505 is, yeah. And you might think, well, Jim, just send it out to somebody and have it re-anodized and do it in the colors that you want. But look at the actual finish and the way he's anodized it. Aside from the colors, it is really super cool. And by the way, this huge swedge right here, it makes it feel like the knife is almost nothing. Look how much I can fold my finger over that. Yet it's still a full-size knife. That feels really good. I am getting a hell of a hot spot right here from that ducktail coming out from the clip. Give it a little squeeze here and I'll show you. There it is right there. So it's definitely digging into me there. Woohoo! Oh, did you see that shit? Oh, get that thumb out of there. Oh. Yeah, his actions really are something amazing. The other thing that I like is he makes a nice smooth surface here for your fingers to come across for the follow through after you flip it. You don't have any jimping on any of these knives in that spot that's going to tear up your fingertips. So yeah, I really dig the knife, but the pink kills me. And this is pink. It's pink and lavender. Pink and lavender and a little bit of a light green. So it's the color that kills it for that one and for this one. Now this one is probably the most full size of all the knives, even though it doesn't look that big. It's got a very long handle, very long blade. This is definitely a 4-inch blade on this. really great action. But again, we go back to the pink. Oh my God, the pink is just killing me. And I'm okay with admitting that I am not secure enough to carry around a pink and green knife. I just can't do it. But look at the work on this custom-made pocket clip. Look how it's pocketed in, blind screwed, beveled, contoured, and made to fit the shape of the knife perfectly. This is not a parts bin pocket clip that he threw on as an afterthought. The massive pivot at both ends, holding the knife together, a beautifully made back spacer that gives you room for a lanyard at the very back without putting big holes in it. I mean, it really is a well thought out design all the way around. Just if it wasn't fucking pink. How's the jimping? I don't know. Jimping is actually pretty good. And that brings me to this point. Look at the aggressive top swedge he puts on some of these knives. Every bit of design that he puts into these really is pretty damn incredible. They're awesome knives all the way around. And this little guy, man, this weighs almost nothing. The blade is very lightweight too, so I have to give it a little bit of a shake to get it down. And I think that's probably the most aggressive looking of all six. Feels nice in the hand. Again, that choil for me is useless. I'm going to slice myself. He gives a nice thumb relief here. Good utilitarian shape on that blade. Again, bringing in that aggressive design nature across the spine, looking at that swedge. Nice milling throughout the entire frame. Great pocket clip. Holy shit, not pocket clip, but pivot. I love that pivot so much that I get to see it twice. Got a nice looking glass breaker on the end there, but it's not so big that it's going to stick you when you're carrying it. And then there is that pocket clip. Functionality on all these knives is spectacular. It's up to you whether you like the design and whether you like the colorations. I don't know. I'm sure you can reach out to him and get something custom made to whatever colors that you want. Otherwise, check out Darth Blader on Instagram. Check out his prices on his website. See where they're going. Like I said, they're all right around $200. They could be $250, $300, depending on the amount of work that goes into them. But they're all, for this level of knife, very, very affordable. These two killed me on the Detent. These two killed me on the color. These two kind of won me over, and I don't know. I'm 50-50 on the knives so far. I like how they feel. I like how they perform in their action. Just not 100% there yet. But god damn, that is an admirable effort. And like I said, check out he's got 2 different Instagram accounts. Check him out. There's pretty much a new model coming out daily.